If you're thinking about moving to St. Petersburg, Florida, you might want to hold off unless you can handle a couple of things that I'm about to explain in this video. So stick around because we're going to jump into it right now. Welcome, and if you're new to me and new to my channel, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Ruiz. I'm a real estate agent, but also a content creator that shows you everything that has to do with the Tampa Bay area, including the suburbs and cities like St. Petersburg. So if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on all things Tampa. And if you happen to make that move, beautiful Tampa Bay area, reach out to me or my partner James. We'd love to help you or you and your family make a smooth transition over to the Tampa Bay area. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. I'll put a link to all of our information in the description below. All right, so go ahead and talk about the population and the traffic because they both coincide with one another, and that might make or break your decision on your move. Like say if you're at the west coast of St. Petersburg, like where all the beaches are, you know, it's not really that crowded over there. Traffic moves pretty well. However, like if you're more in the metropolitan area, like the city area of St. Petersburg on the east coast, that's where I live personally, I have seen the population grow over the past year. And yes, it is getting more and more people. However, if you're like in the downtown St. Petersburg area, you really don't have to drive anywhere. Everything's highly walkable. Now, however, if you frequent Tampa often, like I do, I'm always in Tampa, then getting over the Howard Franklin Bridge, which is a bridge you take from Tampa to get to St. Petersburg. Now that is going to be a little bit of problem area. And I'm not even talking about rush hour. Rush hour, of course, is traffic, just like everywhere you go. But here, sometimes it's a Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and there's going to be traffic. That's a little bit downfall. I mean, the more and more people come, the more and more traffic. With all the transplants, like some people moving in from Chicago, from San Francisco, from New York, from wherever, there's going to be a lot of they're bringing their driving habits down here as well, and they don't really know the roads. And of course, if there are accidents, there's a lot of rubberneckers. They're looking at just what's going on. You know, they're going to slow down, and then it's just going to back up traffic. So yes, I have been on that bridge where it's pretty bad at 2 o'clock. And sometimes the drive from Tampa to downtown St. Petersburg, that little 20-minute drive, can take upwards of 45, 50 minutes. So, I mean, that could be a little downfall as well. So, I mean, the traffic and the population coincide with one another, and that's what you might want to be wary of or might want to take in consideration for movement. And of course, with the traffic, it only gets worse during the winter months or during the snowbird season because it's just more and more people come down. And that usually only happens between November to March. And then also the tourists, a lot more tourists during the winter months because they were trying to get away from all the snow. However, I mean, we normally get tourists pretty much year round because I mean, who doesn't want to visit? We got the beaches right in our backyard. We got boating. We got tons of things to do over here, in St. Petersburg. And also with that, I mean, it's especially during those winter months, it's going to be kind of hard to. I mean, St. Pete has plenty of places to eat, but I mean, a lot of those places are going to be packed to the brim. It's going to be hard to get a table, hard to get a reservation there. So I mean, as long as you can handle that during the winter months, then that's fine. During the summer months, it ain't too bad. You usually walk somewhere and then you can get a table wherever you want. Also, which brings me to the weather. I mean, the weather might make or break your decision moving over here. It does get pretty hot in the summer months, as long as you don't mind hanging out in a tank top all summer, then you should be fine. The average is about 90 degrees in the summer months. I'm talking about a hot July, August, September area. And yes, it does get not only being very hot, I mean, the humidity comes into play as well. So I mean, it gets extremely humid. So you are going to sweat, and you're going to sweat a lot out here being by the beach, being in St. Petersburg. But if you can handle that, then you could definitely handle living over here in St. Petersburg. While living in St. Pete, it may be its downfalls. It's going to be traffic, and it's going to be extremely hot in the summers. I'm talking 90 degrees plus, and the humidity is at 100. But they do have a lot of perks. For instance, they have a bunch of events and activities going on throughout the year. For instance, they're setting up the Firestone Grand Prix right now in downtown St. Petersburg, where they bring in the Indy cars and they just race them all throughout the streets. So that's going to be a lot of perks. Or you can just go down the street to Vinoy Park, and they're going to have a bunch of concerts, a bunch of markets, and they're going to have tons of activities. It's happening consistently throughout the year. So that's going to be a perk about hanging out or about living in St. Petersburg. And furthermore, unlike the weather, it does during the summer months especially, yeah, it's going to rain quite often. But our rain in Florida, in St. Petersburg or in Florida, I mean, it's just extremely quick-lived. I mean, we might get rain, it might just downpour for 5 minutes, and then boom, it stops and the sun comes out. So I mean, that's a typical rain over here in Florida, especially like during the summer months. When it comes fall, then you might have to worry about like the hurricanes as well. Fun fact, the Tampa Bay area has never really got a direct hit in a hurricane in like over 100 years. Yes, we always hear like on the news that hurricanes coming towards Tampa and everybody's buying water, packing up on, or stocking up on toilet paper and getting all the goods and trying to evacuate. It's always like the hurricane is about to come and then it switch pattern, switch direction. We'll hear a lot from like, especially from people from outside moving in, oh, what you guys do during hurricanes? We don't really take it that seriously. We get the tropical storms and we also get hurricane warnings all the time, but it really ain't that bad. We might lose power for like 5-10 minutes. Some streets may flood. It's the very next day that it's fine. I mean, don't be surprised if the hurricane's coming, the tropical storm's coming, and then you're going to see streets flooded and you're going to see people like going down the streets in a canoe. I've seen it personally multiple times. And then the very next day, it's bright and sunny, and then all the water's just washed away. You got your good, your bad, pros and cons as well. And although it may seem overcrowded at times, and trust me, I should know, I live right here in downtown St. Petersburg, and it does feel a little bit overcrowded at times, especially on the weekends when there are just tons of people roaming the streets. It makes up for it, like with the vibe of the people. They're very chill and relaxed. And also the culture scene out here is quite incredible. In fact, they got 3 different museums that within like a walking distance of each other right here. You got the James Museum, you got the Dali Museum, and you also got the Museum of Fine Arts. And not to mention the countless like bars and restaurants, and the vibe out here is great. For instance, like this spot in particular, Goodnight John Boy, is extremely popular on the weekends. It's gonna be like a 70s club. They got like a disco ball playing 70s music. So that's a completely different vibe. But trust me, you want to get here early because these lines are gonna be wrapped around the building on the weekends. And there you have it, a few of the reasons why you want to avoid living in St. Petersburg, why you don't want to move here. But for me, I personally live here, and you just got to ask yourself, do the pros outweigh the cons? And for me, the 10 out of 10 times, the pros outweigh the cons. There's so many things to do. You really can't be looking at the bad. You have to take that in consideration, like, you know, the weather with the hurricanes or the population, the tourists. But for me, there's just so many things to do. I mean, I would suggest just going on my channel, looking up all the cool things to do. I did multiple videos on St. Petersburg that showcases all the good about St. Petersburg. So I would highly recommend checking that out. So if you could find yourself wanting to move over here to the beautiful St. Petersburg area, just please reach out to me and my partner James. We'd love to help you or you and your family make that smooth transition over to the area. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. I'll put a link to all of our information in the description below. And like always, until next time, catch you guys on the next video.